There's quite a bit of speculation regarding Donald Trump declaring a national emergency in order to divert funds from the military to his border wall. Now, if he does plan on doing it, Senate Democrats have introduced legislation to essentially block him. Now, of course, as the president, he could always veto this, and before it even gets to that point, it is clear that there would be Republicans fighting Democrats on it. But let me tell you what this legislation is all about. It's known as the Restrictions Against Illegitimate Declarations for Emergency Reappropriations Act, or the Raider Act.
Badass.
I kind of love it. That was great branding there. The legislation would prevent Trump from using funding from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Civil Works funds, and military construction funding for the construction of barriers, land acquisition, or any other associated activities on the southern border without specific statutory authorization from Congress if he declared a national emergency.
Yeah, so makes sense. There's two different ways that you could block President Trump from this national emergency declaration, using it to subvert funds to his own purposes. One is the courts, but that's gonna take a while. So that's the downside for Trump too. The courts will bottle him up for quite some time before he can actually do that. And then congressionally, you could try to block it preemptively like this. And the part that I like the most is that they're emphasizing, look, this is supposed to be military and disaster relief funds. So you're gonna take from, I mean, we've got now more and more disasters because of climate change. Obviously last year was record breaking and literally disastrous. And to take away from all those floods and fires, et cetera, at this particular time makes America less safe, not more safe. And of course, taking away from the military to build a wall doesn't seem like the kind of thing that Republicans would normally be in favor of. And remember, the Republicans, some of them claim that they do not want to do this national emergency. So it might pass with some Republican help.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
And Mitch McConnell is very much aware of that. He does know that there are some Republicans in the Senate who would side with Democrats here, because Republicans, shockingly in this case, are looking ahead and they're concerned about what type of precedent this would set. So if you have a Republican president declaring a national emergency when there really isn't a national emergency to get the funding he wants for his hate monument, well, who's to say that a Democratic president wouldn't pull the same trick to do something else, to fund something else, whether it's climate change related funding or something else.
By the way, I mean, we're talking about security in our lives. You know what affects our lives the most? Healthcare. So if we had to do Medicare for all as an emergency, because tens of thousands of people die every year because of not having adequate insurance, that would be a way, way better case for protecting our lives and security than a border wall where no one gets killed.
Yeah. Well, how likely is it that Donald Trump will declare a national emergency? The State of the Union is tonight, which we will cover for our members and partly for our members only, and then
no, it's live and free to everybody. tyt.com/live. We're just going to do extra analysis and commentary afterwards. The play-by-play, everybody watches. More analysis, that's for the members. That's tyt.com/join.
Okay, perfect. So now people again are speculating, is he gonna declare a national emergency? And who knows what Trump is gonna do? He's a bit of a wild card, but he was asked about what he intends on mentioning during the State of the Union if he's gonna declare a national emergency. Here's what he had to say about it.
You privately decided whether or not you will declare a national emergency, and just to clarify.
No, by privately, you know what's in my mind?
What's in your
well,
mind?
Certainly thinking about it.
You're thinking ahead.
I think there's a good chance that we'll have to do that, but we will at the same time be building, regardless, we're building wall, and we're building a lot of wall, but I could do it a lot faster the other way.
Are you saying that we should be prepared for you to announce at the State of the Union what you are going to
Well,
say?
I'm saying listen closely to the State of the Union. I think you'll find it very exciting.
Doubt it.
Yeah, agree to disagree. You'll find our play-by-play exciting, okay, as we rip him on things that he is not being honest about, and we'll do it right as he says it during the incredibly annoying applause breaks.
But look, Cenk,
yeah,
he's gonna fund wall.
A lot of wall. We're already doing a lot of wall, okay? So look, bottom line is, as usual, this is not a bright Trump move, telegraphing this far ahead that you might call it a national emergency, which allows the legislators to block your emergency call, at least in terms of the funding, ahead of time. So for the 88th time in a row, no planning, just spilling the beans right out of the gate, and allows other folks to adjust and preempt his moves. That's because he cannot strategize if his life depended on it.
You know, what I don't understand is, like, Republicans, when it comes to declaring a national emergency, are looking ahead at what the ramifications can be if the tables were turned, which I feel like they don't usually do that. They're usually looking to short-term gains and long-term destruction. But in the case of Trump, I mean, maybe I'm asking too much of him, but if you look at the polling and you look at the electorate in general, the majority of voters do not support the funding for the wall. And so he's gonna potentially do something that's incredibly unpopular. For what reason? Like, the whole point is to garner support for your reelection campaign. That's what it's all about, right? So how are you gonna garner more support if you're going to put up this fight for funding for a border wall that's not popular?
Yeah, look, as we know, his main thought is, I gotta protect my base. Now, he might be a weak enough president that he has to worry about getting primaried, but normally a president doesn't have to worry about that and is gearing more towards the general election, in which case having 3/4 of the American people disagree with you is not a brilliant strategy. But remember, the guy doesn't do strategy. He just, whatever's in front of him. Ann Coulter yelled at me. Okay, I meant wall, I don't want a deal. Okay, Ann Coulter yelled at me too much. I didn't invite her somewhere. Whatever's right in front of him, right?
Right.
I need wall, I need a lot of wall. I need a big, beautiful, strong wall, okay? You think he's thinking ahead a year and a half from now?
Well,
Cenk rule on Donald Trump. There's never any strategy. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.